What are the proceedings and Nigeria's role in the continental development strategies as AU summit is set to begin?
African leaders again in Addis Ababa to decide on the future of a continent, and President Bola Tinubu is here as one of the leaders to call the shots.
VP Shetima lauds NEDC's transformative investment in education.
I think of all the areas of intervention by the NEDC, none titillates my imagination, none captivates the spirit of the times greater than this asset in this.
Also tonight, EFCC inducts professionals to boost ranks towards anti-corruption prevention, enforcement and coordination. Thank you for joining us on this live news broadcast on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. I'm Lami Ali. Joining me from Lagos is Hingino John Adams, while Benny Adams will be giving us the latest news from the business world. Benny, what's the trending news in business?
Well, Nigeria is set to take on the rest of Africa as digital trade champions. That's the conversation ongoing in Addis Ababa now.
And of course, Ayo Deji Makinde is standing by with sports update. Ayo, give us that teaser from sports.
Some Nigerian ex-international are back at the grassroots to intensify scouting ahead of the 2028 Olympic Games in Los Angeles.
All right, details on that and much more later in the course of the bulletin. You can follow us on nta.ng/live and on other social media platforms of the NTA displayed on your screen. We begin from Addis Ababa, where the stage is set for the 38th African Union Summit, at which President Bola Tinubu is equally set to participate for the second time. We'll join State House correspondent Musbah Al-Wahab for the agenda of the summit.
Yes, it's another decisive moment for African heads of states and governments, with two major agendas before them to decide on this 38th summit coming up tomorrow. And the first one is the launching of the theme of the year, which was decided on in 2023, and that is justice for Africans and people of African descent through reparation. The leaders are looking at some injustices and inequality done to the continent, not just from the days of colonialism, but also in the present day global order or global dynamics. And they are looking at how to reposition the union towards getting justice for people that deserve them. We spoke to Nigerian Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Yusuf Tuga, earlier on this, and he gave us some insights into the theme for the year.
Well, it's necessary at this time because I'm sure you're aware of the agitation for the restructuring of the global financial system, and then also for a reform of the global political system as it pertains to the United Nations, and in particular the United Nations Security Council. So the theme speaks to the building of a united front to advance the cause of Africa. You have to look at the format, the suggestions being put forward. It's not just looking back at slavery and colonialism and then, making excuses. No, we're saying that we look at what happened in the past and use it to advance the future.
The second major issue before the leaders will be the elections of new sets of leaders for the African Union Commission. We have the position of chairperson, which has been zoned to the eastern part of the country, or the continent rather, and three candidates are contesting for that position. Number one is Mohammed Ali Yusuf, a 70-year-old candidates coming from Djibouti, is being the Minister of Foreign Affairs for that country and also spokesperson for the government. And secondly, he's the former Prime Minister of Kenya, Raila Amolo Odinga, was contested for the position of president of that country a record 5 times without succeeding though, and is contesting for this position is 80-year-old by the way. And the third candidate is Richard Randria Mandrato from Madagascar, is 66-year-old by the way, and is been minister in different capacity in Madagascar in the past, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Minister of Economy and Finance. So 3 of them are contesting for that position. And for the commissioners in that commission, we have Ambassador Bankole Adeoye, a Nigerian who is returning for the second term as the Commissioner for Political Affairs, Peace and Security for the AU Commission. And also a delegation of Nigeria also represented the country at a conversation looking at the possibility of setting up African rating agency to drive investments and development on the continent. Minister of Foreign Affairs and Coordinating Minister of Economy and Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, represented Nigeria at that event. Let's take a listen to the Minister of Information on the imperative of this agency.
Hitherto, access to capital, it becomes very difficult for people on the African continent. Even when we have the population, we have the investment opportunities, we have projects that are fundable, but because capital is key, it became very, very dear for all African nations to now set up their own rating agency, because the rating agency set up by the West does not favor Africa. Most of the time you find investment in Africa suffering because of access to capital, and capital is key in any investment drive that can happen on the African continent. And I think this is a major agenda for the General Assembly of the African Union, and we hope that we'll see that through. And when that happens, it's going to be a radical shift in terms of capital pullout for investments on the African continent that will in turn drive prosperity and development for the African countries.
So in all of these, Nigeria, led by President Bola Tinubu, we have a major role to play in deciding on this agenda, and particularly the elections of the leaders for the African Union Summit and other issues to be decided on coming up tomorrow.
Thank you, Ms. Bao, for that update. Africa's aspiration for progress, economic growth and social stability remain unattainable without a robust healthcare system that guarantees access to essential healthcare services for millions of Africans. Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu, who stated this at a high-level meeting on domestic financing in Africa organized by Rwandan President Paul Kagame on the margins of the 38th AU Summit in Addis Ababa, calls for a sustainable financing that ensures efficient mobilization and utilization of resources for short, medium and long-term impact. State House correspondent Adeni Taiwo brings us the details.
Achieving a wealthy continent is largely dependent on the health of the people, and with the impending funding gaps occasioned by recent policy change in the United States, there is a need for the African continent to look inward for sustainable solution. This is the thrust of this high-level meeting on domestic health financing organized by Rwandan President Paul Kagame on the sidelines of the 38th African Union Summit Ordinary Session in Addis Ababa.
This means that sustainable financing...
Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu took the first shot at the meeting, exploring the roles of first ladies in supporting sustainable financing for health on the continent. Sharing Nigeria's perspective on the issue, she harps on the need for a health system that guarantees access to quality health services without imposing financial hardship on individuals or households.
Africa continues to rely solely on donor funding and foreign aids with which, although helpful, are often unpredictable and unsustainable. Instead, we must develop innovative financing strategies tailored to our unique challenges and circumstances. What is the role of First Ladies in driving change? As First Ladies, we recognize our influential position and have been leveraging our position and platform to advocate for increased government funding for health, encourage private sector investment, and engage international partners in supporting country-specific interventions.
Her status as the global and national Stop TB champion mirrors the role that First Ladies, leveraging their position and platform, can play in resource mobilization for health from governments, the private sector, and donor agencies.
Given the increasing funding gap for health on the continent, I urge us all to come together and commit to advocating for increased national health budgets. In line with the Abuja Declaration, our governments should allocate at least 15% of their budgetary allocations to health. We must also support innovative financing mechanisms and explore sustainable models such as expanding health insurance coverage, health endowment funds, and investments from African diaspora. Accountability and transparency must be ensured as funds allocated to health must be used efficiently and effectively.
Global and regional perspectives on domestic health financing in Africa and its contributions to the global agenda were also explored by donor agencies and funding partners. From Addis Ababa, Adeniyi Taiwo, NTA News.
Vice President Kashim Shettima says the Northeast Development Commission has placed itself on the positive side of history for going beyond infrastructure developments to investing in education and green technology through the Accelerated Senior Secondary Education Program, ASEP. He said this during a meeting with the management team of the NEDC, who came to brief him on the level of work on the ASEP project at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports.
Accelerated Senior Secondary Education Program, an initiative that began from 100 teachers to 600 in 71 institutions across the 18 senatorial districts of the Northeast, is redefining the educational system in the region, courtesy of the Northeast Development Commission. This meeting is to update the Vice President on the status of the Accelerated Senior Secondary Education Program, describing it as the actual game changer in the age and time, applauding the generative platforms introduced by the program, like the virtual reality headsets, saying they are going along in revolutionizing the learning experience, offering numerous benefits for students, educators, and institutions because of the enhanced engagement and motivation.
I think of all the areas of intervention by the NEDC, none titillates my imagination, none captivates the spirit of the times greater than this ASEP. It's a soft investment, but it's truly a game changer because in other parts of the world they are embracing digital educational tools because of the numerous benefits it offers, from improved knowledge retention to personalized learning to increase accessibility, because BR handset enables students to engage in remote learning.
He implored the Northeast Development Commission, Ministry of Regional Development, and other relevant stakeholders to collaborate and ensure efficiency.
We are looking at so many angles through which we can solve the multifaceted problems we have inherited as a country in the educational sector, especially in the Northeast. You know, the issues arising out of the insurgency, depletion of the numbers of teachers, infrastructure, and issues like that.
We did not import technology. We actually produce homegrown. So it's relatable, it's authentic. It also provides, it was done in Nigeria by Nigerians. So there's an opportunity for content creators to also come on. So it's opening up a whole different opportunity in the region and across the country, as it were.
The Northeast Development Commission has commenced the process of reviving teacher training education in the region, and a unit within the commission to handle training and capacity building across the educational ecosystem, establishing 18 ICT training centers, laboratories, and other facilities across the Northeast. From the State House, Abraham Jibrila, NTA News.
The 6 governors from the Southwest region have agreed to establish a food inflation joint monitoring team to check activities of middlemen, curb inflation, and ensure food adequacy in the region. This was part of a communique presented at the end of the Southwest Governors Forum meeting in Lagos. Joy Ken Abapoya reports.
After a 4-hour deliberation behind closed doors, the Southwest Governors Forum, comprising governors from Lagos, Oyo, Ogun, Ekiti, Osun, and Ondo states, came up with measures to address key issues of regional concerns.
The forum resolved as follows. The forum commends His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for the economic stability and improvement recorded across the nation, particularly in the sustained supply and distribution of petroleum products and the stabilization of the exchange rate. The forum urges citizens to continue supporting the President's effort at strengthening the economy and to improve the overall well-being of all Nigerians.
The forum, while committing to taking necessary action to counter any form of threats in the region, agreed to deploy advanced technology to enhance security operations and strengthen intelligence gathering.
The forum agreed to appoint now special advisors on security in each state and to establish a joint surveillance monitoring team, which we believe will oversee and coordinate security efforts across the region.
The Southwest governors also commended the federal government for the successful implementation of the student loan scheme and encouraged eligible students in the region to take full advantage of the initiative. In Lagos, Joy Ken Abakuya, NTA News.
In an effort to strengthen the anti-corruption crusade in Nigeria, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has injected 169 detective assistant cadets into the commission's workforce. After 6 months of training, the chairman of the commission, Ola Lukoyode, urged the graduating cadets to be diligent in carrying out their duties to ensure that Nigeria is free from illicit financial flows and other related crimes through prevention, enforcement, and coordination.
A lot of trust is placed on you as cadets of the Commission. Your family, the EFCC, and the entire citizens of Nigeria look up to you to uphold the highest standard of ethics and integrity. You must give no room for compromise. You must not give room for laziness, nor tolerance for misconduct.
The event we are witnessing today is in furtherance of the commitment of the administration of His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, to strengthen the Commission and improve the quality of its manpower for effective service delivery.
It's not just by carrying arms or no, but there are other things attached to it that has to do with unity, integrity, honesty.
We pause now for some messages. The National Examinations Council, NECO, has officially released the 2024 Senior School Certificate Examination SSCE external results, with 57,114 candidates scoring 5 credits and above, including English language and mathematics, representing 67.35%. Registrar and Chief Executive Officer of NECO, Professor Anthony Ibrahim Mushishi, who released the results at the headquarters of the council in Minna, says the external examination recorded a reduction in malpractice by 27.7%. Fatima Osman reports.
The release of the 2024 External Senior School Certificate Examination SSCE, designed to cater for candidates seeking to remedy their results to enable them gain admission into various tertiary institutions within and outside the country, is coming 62 days after the last paper was written. Of the 86,067 candidates that registered for the examination, 84,799 candidates sat for the examination.
It is my pleasure to declare the 2024 SSE external result released. The number of candidates who got 5 credits and above, including English language and mathematics, is 57,114 candidates, representing 67.35%. Also, 70,711 candidates, representing 83.39%, got 5 credits and above, irrespective of English language.
The NECO boss, who announced the release of the 2025 digitalized staff annual posting calendar, also listed supervisors and centers blacklisted for malpractices and misconducts.
7 supervisors were recommended for blacklisting for poor supervision, lateness, and for aiding and abetting during the examination. 14 centers were blacklisted for their involvement in whole central malpractice in 9 subjects.
Candidates are, by this release, directed to assess their results on NECO official website using their examination registration numbers. In Mina, I am Fatima Usman, NTA News.
In a remarkable display of philanthropy, the Haladu Dano Foundation has brought significant developments to rural village in Dutse local government area of Jigawa State. The foundation, known for its commitments to education, healthcare and sustainable development, has executed transformative projects aimed at improving the socio-economic conditions of the community. Awal Muhammad reports.
The foundation's recent intervention in rural village, the hometown of its founder Nasiru Haladu Dano, include the renovation of the central mosque, the construction of a new mosque, an Islamia school, and the provision of potable drinking water and solar-powered electricity. Additionally, the foundation built a new palace for the village head, with the total value of the projects estimated at nearly 100 million naira. The Emir of Dutse, Hamim Nuhu Muhammad Sanusi, represented at the event, praised the initiative, noting that the project will significantly enhance the quality of life for the community.
The community should own it, they should take care of it, and they should ensure that their children attend this school, because education is everything, but especially Islamic education. They should ensure that not only their children attend this school, but make sure that the teachers themselves stand firm.
Representing the philanthropist Nasiru Haladu Dano, the foundation reiterated its commitment to fostering positive change and improving lives across communities through interventions in health, education and economic empowerment.
Sardauna, his mind is here, and he's always willing to ensure how his immediate community are going to be supported, are going to be empowered, are going to be enlightened educationally so that they can go in line with the current practices.
Members of the rural community expressed their gratitude, applauding the foundation for bringing development to their doorstep. They described the project as life-changing and pledged to cherish the gesture for years to come. The event concluded with the presentation of gifts to the chairman of the Haladu Dano Foundation as a token of appreciation for the impactful initiatives. In Dutse, Awal Muhammad Kazaure, NTA News.
Let's join Benny for business news.
Thank you, Lami. And talking business, as conversations on Africa's economic growth takes a center stage in Addis Ababa, Minister of Trade and Investment says Nigeria is ready to take on the rest of Africa as digital trade champions.
You know that the AfCFTA agreement is one that is unique for Africa. Apart from the digital trade protocol, it's one that focuses on youth-led businesses, it focuses on women-led businesses, it focuses on MSMEs, which is where the continent is dominant. And so that agreement, leveraging that agreement, we're overhauling AfCFTA implementation strategy. We're overhauling it with all the stakeholders to make sure that the businesses are aware of what they can do and to handhold them through that process so they can export. We've also made a spirited bid for the AfrexIM International Trade Fair. It's the biggest in Africa. And last week we hosted the due diligence committee that came to Lagos State, where we've bid to host it at the newly renovated National Theatre. That trade fair in 2027 and the Canex the year before in 2026 is what we're planning to use to celebrate, to begin the celebration of the 50th anniversary of FESTAC. But I believe that Nigerians should be on this journey with us. We worked very closely, all agencies and with the Lagos State government, and we believe that we gave a spirited...
Well, still talking business on Africa, Nigeria's domestic equities market ended Valentine's Day in the red. Call it the color of the day, but not quite good for investors already in the market. This is as sell-offs trigger 698 billion naira loss. But in other markets in Africa, it is gain. Looking at the South Africa top 40, the stocks appreciated by 1.13% to close at 80,982.25 basis points. Same for Tunisia Tune Index, where it's also a positive end at the end of Valentine's Day with 0.24%, up 10,323.47 basis points. This is it on business.
Thank you, Benny. Now, the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security is optimistic about a bumper harvest of wheat this season and expected to reduce the need for wheat imports. This positive outlook comes in the wake of President Tinubu's intervention, during which agricultural inputs were provided to farmers at subsidized prices across all wheat-producing states. Musa Baba Ali has the details.
The weather in Kazaure, Jigawa State is chilly and windy, creating an ideal environment for wheat plants to thrive and yield a plentiful harvest. And these farmers are irrigating their fields and removing unwanted weeds, while birds soar above, searching for insects to eat. The farmers are part of more than 60,000 who joined the federal government's wheat production initiative. Abdullahi Dogo informed me that the wheat seeds he received are of high quality, germinated well, and he is expecting a bountiful harvest. Dogo is not alone. All the farmers who benefited from the program in Jigawa State have a success story to share.
The federal government seed, it is germinated well. With normal recommendation, it will germinate more.
In Kano, more than 20,000 wheat farmers have received support in the form of seeds and other inputs. A visit to some of their farms reveals that the crop are thriving, leading to a high expectations of a bountiful harvest at the end of the season. Abdullahi Ishaku, National Agricultural Seed Council of Nigeria, informed me that the agency certified all the seeds provided to farmers prior to planting.
Even the seed companies play a great role this time around, because they were able to establish a good number of fields which are very good and fantastic, supervised and inspected by the staffs of National Agricultural Seed Council.
The wheat revolution is being carried out as part of the National Agricultural Growth Scheme and Agro Pocket of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security. It is believed that if Nigeria successfully enhances its wheat production, the country could save approximately 1.2 trillion naira or around $1.9 billion, which it currently spends annually on importing the crop. From Kano, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Hingino is standing by with more reports in our Lagos Network Center studio. It's over to you, Hingino.
Thank you, Lami, and welcome to Lagos. Minister of Education has promised the federal government's resolve to ensuring standards and the right quality of education is maintained in schools across the country. The minister said this while on fact-finding mission to King's College, Lagos. Ime Udori's report is presented from our studio.
The visit is part of federal government's intervention initiative to restructuring unity schools across the country and restoring the standards and quality of education that it was known for On arrival, the minister was received by some teaching staff of the college, then thereafter taken round the premises to observe things firsthand. The students who were surprised by the early hour visit welcomed the minister and his entourage with happiness. The minister began with the hostels where he interacted with some of the students who were all still preparing for classes. The team also toured the classrooms, science laboratories, cafeteria, among other facilities, where he expressed displeasure over the deteriorating state of facilities for lack of maintenance.
This place is dark. How do you expect students to learn?
Major among the challenges the college is grappling with is the issue of electricity supply, which the minister, Tunji Alausa, quickly intervened.
I'm not happy at all with what I saw, but we will work as a government to quickly remedy a lot of the problems. We've actually started.
The principal of the college, who is barely a month old in the school, appealed to government for prompt intervention of returning the college to its former glory.
We would like the ministry to come to assist us in teachers, in sending more teachers here.
It will be recalled that the minister embarked on a similar visit to Queen's College in Lagos in December 2024.
The Nigerian Consumer Credit Corporation, in conjunction with other automobile and financial organizations, have commenced an initiative aimed at improving the lives of Nigerians through meaningful partnership. This, they say, will greatly revolutionize the automotive industry, improve entrepreneurship, while providing reliable and efficient vehicles. Adejoke Odeka tells us more.
Following the approval of the first phase of the Consumer Credit Scheme by President Bola Tinubu, the Nigerian Consumer Credit Corporation, Credit Corp, in partnership with the National Automotive Design and Development Council, NADDC, various organizations and other credible assemblers have launched the 20 billion naira Automobile Credit Fund, which aims to provide consumer credit for Nigerians to purchase locally manufactured automobiles.
And today you see that Action Microfinance Bank is an institution that is driving this wave of credit for this particular group of people who are those accessing locally assembled kekes and motorbikes.
We want to boast Nigeria-made motorcycle, Nigeria-made tricycle, and Nigeria-made vehicles.
For other organizations, this initiative by Credit Corp will revolutionize the automotive industry.
I'm very confident that with this new intervention of the government, this is going to be a game changer.
What it means is that we're able to equip each and every one of these customers with access to vehicles, and they're able to start working and earning from the very day one.
For Bayo Ogunleye, one of the beneficiaries who drove off with their brand new tricycles and motorbikes funded by the Consumer Credit Scheme, say the process was seamless and easily accessible.
For today, I'm very excited, very happy, because to be part of the beneficiary of the credit crops, something, and it's very easy for me to get it.
With this newly launched credit scheme initiative, the automotive sector in Nigeria can now meet up with demands and will have a great multiplier effect on the economy. In Lagos, Adejoke Odeka, NTA News.
That's all from Lagos Network.
That's why I use Dettol Cool Soap with 5 degrees cooling sensation. Summer heat brings body odor, but Dettol Cool protects you from 99.9% of illness-causing germs and keeps you fresh.
The federal government has dismissed allegations made by Tigran Gambarian, a Binance executive, describing them as false, misleading and defamatory. Minister of Information and National Orientation Mohammed Idris says that Gambarian's claims were baseless and aimed at discrediting Nigerian officials. The government clarified that Gambarian was lawfully investigated for, and his release in October 2024 followed diplomatic negotiations that yielded significant benefits for Nigeria. He added that Gambarian's initial visit to Nigeria was a private decision with no government involvement, and when allegations of bribery surfaced, an investigation was initiated despite the absence of a formal complaint. The minister explained that his second visit was part of a broader probe into currency manipulation through platforms like Binance. The government emphasized that investigators faced deliberate obstacles from Gambarian and his team, further complicating efforts to address financial misconduct. Government reiterates its rejection of Binance's $5 million offer for Gambarian's release, opting instead for a more beneficial agreement with the U.S. authorities. It also condemned his retaliatory accusations, urging the public to disregard them. While maintaining confidence in both Nigerian and American judicial systems, the federal government stated that Gambarian would have ample opportunity to prove his claims in court. More messages now. We will be right back. Don't go away.
I didn't know today would be our last. It is with profound gratitude to the will of God that the Plateau State Government announces the passing on to glory of our beloved elder statesman, Lieutenant General Dr. Senator Jeremiah Timbutu Saini, Sardaunam Plateau and Nasarawa States, who departed this life on Thursday, 23rd January 2025, at the ripe age of 82. The burial ceremony will take place as follows. Service of tributes at the National Christian Center, Abuja. Date, Saturday, 15th February 2025 at 4 p.m. prompt. Service of songs at Cooking Headquarters Church, Jos. Date, Thursday, 20th February 2025. Time, 4 p.m.
To love Golden Penny pasta. What's your reason? Great taste, good nutrition.
And Ayo Deji Makinde will take it from here to bring you a sports update. Ayo.
All right, thanks. Let's begin with athletics because about 37,000 runners are set to participate in the 10th edition of the Lagos City Marathon on Saturday. The race will be in two categories, 42 kilometers and 10 kilometers, with 4,000 international runners comprising 100 elites. The organizers of the Lagos City Marathon are hoping to achieve a platinum label with this year's race, which will take off from 6:30 in the morning from the National Stadium in Surulere and terminates at the Eco Atlantic in Victoria Island.
With a vision to establish Lagos as a global marathon destination, we create opportunities for elite and grassroots runners, and also contribute to the economic and social growth of our great city, Lagos. Today, we stand tall as one of the most recognized marathons in Africa and beyond.
The race has also provided opportunity for our people to come together to appreciate the essence of healthy living, healthy lifestyle, and healthy competition as well. We have, categories, apart from the popular categories of 42 kilometers and 10 kilometers. We know that some people are actually constantly patting themselves at the back and cheering up by running 1 kilometer, 2 kilometers. Those achievements cannot be understated, and that is.
Now, the journey to discover the next generation of football talents begins from February 21 to 23 with the Secondary School Stars Invitational Tournament in Abuja. The project is coordinated by 1996 Atlanta Olympics football gold medalist Emmanuel Babayaro and legendary coach James Peters. The plan is to bring together 6 top secondary schools from the Federal Capital Territory and 2 wild cards for a fierce competition in for honors with international scouts in attendance.
The tournament itself, in terms of the trophy and the medals, can only be won by the schools. Only the schools can win this, but other people will play and the schools as well will play for the scouting.
Football is a very big business all over the world. It's big business, and you have a very, very young, energetic Mamba Bayaro, who happened to be my goalkeeper in the past 20 years in the national.
Let's go to the world of tennis, where world number 2 Igor Swiatek has suffered a worst defeat in 2 years as Yelena Ostapenko beat her in straight sets 6-3, 6-1 to reach the Qatar Open final. Ostapenko needed just 1 hour and 8 minutes to knock out the 5-time Grand Slam champion in Doha. The 23-year-old Pole was on a 15-match winning streak at the Qatar Open and chasing a 4th successive title. The world number 37 is undefeated in 5 meetings with Swiatek. That's your sports. It's back to Lami.
Many thanks, Ayo. Now, elder statesman and chieftain of the Yoruba socio-cultural group Afenifere Chief Ayodele Adebanjo has died on Friday at the age of 96 at his Lekki residence. Joel Bola reports that his son, Segun Adebanjo, who confirmed his demise to NTA News, says the family is comforted by his robust legacy and commitments to the advancement of democracy.
The solemn mood at the Lekki home of the late Pa Ayo Adebanjo certainly captures the climax of what many have described as a life of service and dedication to the unity of the nation. His son, Segun Ayo Adebanjo, who confirmed his demise, stated that even at the twilight of his life, the renowned Awois, who was the Secretary General of the defunct Action Group, was a Nigerian that aligned with the ideals of the nation's founding fathers. He noted that the family is taking solace in the fact that Pa Ayo Adebanjo lived an impactful life and enjoyed the grace of longevity.
He passed away this morning. He was pretty well known for his stance and his principles and his commitment to Nigeria. He's been in this since he was a youth. And I think it was his life cause more than anything else.
A condolence register has been opened for the deceased at his Lekki home in Lagos and Ogbo, his country home in Odogbolu local government in Ogun State. Pa Adebanjo is survived by a 94-year-old wife, children and grandchildren. In Lagos, Joel Bukbola, NTA News.
President Bola Tinubu has described the passing of one of the Afenifere leaders, Pa Ayo Adebanjo, as a great loss to the country, stressing that Nigeria has lost a political leader whose decades of unwavering struggle for justice, democracy and national unity have left an indelible mark on the nation's history. The president says the nation will miss his regular interventions in national affairs, which enriched political discourse, saying that though the nation mourns his long, remarkable and purposeful 96 years of unrelenting advocacy for progress and equity remains a blessing. While recounting his role as a lawyer, statesman, politician and a true Democrat, President Tinubu says Pa Adebanjo stood among the last of a generation of nationalists and independent heroes who shaped the foundation of the country. The president extends his heartfelt condolences to the family, the Afenifere family, the governors of the Southwest, past and present, and all Nigerians who shared his vision, and prays the soul of the departed find eternal rest, and his ideals, which he envisioned, forever resonate in the country. And former President Muhammadu Buhari mourns the demise of one of the nation's most noble leaders, Chief Ayo Adebanjo. In a statement, former President Buhari describes Chief Adebanjo's death as a loss for the nation. He prayed for the repose of his soul and for fortitude to his family, admirers and the government and people of Ogun State to bear the loss. Late Phil Obano, former zonal director, NTA Benin Network Center, has been described as a perfect representation of what the Nigerian Television Authority stands for: hard work, integrity, steadfastness, patriotism and industry. Director General of the Nigerian Television Authority, Salihu Abdulhamid Dembus, in a condolence message to the Obano family of Benin, says Phil was a mirror everyone in the authority in particular and the media industry at large looked at for guidance and inspiration. He says the entire management and staff of NTA would definitely miss her indefatigable calm personality and attention to details, approach to all assignments and duties, and praise Almighty God grants her gentle soul eternal rest and the immediate family the fortitude to bear the irreparable loss. And that's your network news. We thank you for watching.